hands together for storyteller number 4, Milton Granadillo.
Hey everybody, give it up for the Lyric Theater, give it up for the Moth, all the fantastic stories. So the main thing you have to know about this story is that the donkey is okay. All right? So my dad used to travel a lot for work, a lot. So the way to kind of like compensate it is that every time he would get a chance, we would do family trips. And he loved road trips, but like the longest road trips he could ever thought of. It would be like over the weekend, driving like 9 hours to some random place and then heading back. And as an adult, I realized that it was kind of sweet because it was just like an excuse to have us all like cramped into a car, you know, like tough love, you know, sardine love. So one of those times, it was, I want to say 1992 or 91, so I was 6 or 7, he decided to take us in a road trip to a town that was like 9 hours from home. And we used to have a station wagon. If you don't know what a station wagon is, you are very young, and I hate you. But it's basically like if a regular car and an SUV had a crack baby. It was like a very awful car, whatever. Like Chevy Chase Vacation, that car. We had a very similar car to that. And we would be crammed into the car. So it was father, mother in the front, and then brother, sister, grandma, and I was in the back. Back seat, not back seat, in the back. Like luggage compartment. It was 90s, you know, like car safety was like a different thing back then, you know. And mind you, one of my dad's favorite hobbies was to buy crap on the side of the road. So all those things would be stored at my place. So it would be like luggage, Milton, luggage, a bucket of mangoes. It's terrible. So I'm there. We're in the middle of nowhere. This is a state called the Falcon, and it's like a desert state. So we're driving. It's the middle of nowhere. The highway, it's very like monotone, you know. You know when the roads are like so long, then the horizon you see like an oasis. And I would see it backwards because I was sitting facing the back. So it was like I would see like the past, you know. Also, the AC was busted, of course. So we had to lower the windows like 1.5 inches, and the radio was busted. So the soundtrack of the trip was always like. So at some point, we're in the middle of nowhere, like hour 5 of the trip. And suddenly, the screech of the brakes, the loudest bang I can think of, and just me ping-balling around the car. Just like Milton luggage, mangoes, it's like everywhere. And when I come to my senses, when we all come to our senses, we see through the broken windshield a fucking donkey just running onto the sunset. We crashed into a donkey. The donkey is okay. And we have like all the bruises in life. It hit on my mom's side, so her door was like super dented. But the main thing is that we had no windshield. And we're in the middle of nowhere in a desert. So at some point, a car, and the highway was absolutely empty. So one car appears and starts to slow down, but in Venezuela, that can mean two things. It's like, someone's gonna help me, or, yeah. And so this car started like slowing down. Someone cracked open a window and was like, wow, what a crash. And then they kept going. So, good news, bad news, you know? Like, And I don't wish ill on people, but I wish that they found like a donkey in their lives because, like, come on. So my dad, gets into like leader mode. Everyone is crying. And he's like, we need to fix this. So he turns on the car turns on. But of course, we have no windshield. So they had to devise this kind of like Mad Max costume with all t-shirts and glasses and hats, And we're driving to the town, hating life. And we find a little bit of traffic entering the town. And right in front of us, there was a pickup truck with people in the back. And so then they're like, you have no windshield. And we're like, yeah, we know, thank you. So we arrive to town, we find the only mechanic in town, and the guy's like, yes, I fix windshields, but I don't have that one. You have to go back to another town to find the windshield. And here's the deal. We had to go through sand dunes with no windshield. This was in 1992, and I probably still have sand on my body because everything got collected where I was. All the wind, I was like in a whirlpool of terror. So eventually, the car got fixed. A new window was up. The dent was out. And soon after, my dad sold the car because the car wasn't great after that, but also, trauma. So he sold it to a mechanic. 5 years, 10 years pass. One day, we get a call from the mechanic. And he asked to talk to my dad. And he says, hey, I need to tell you something. I want to thank you because I have a big family. I always wanted one of those cars. And I never could afford it. So you sold it to me very cheap, and I fixed it up. And like I've taken all the trips with my family, and all my family, we love that car. It's been a part of the family, so we want to thank you. And my dad is like, you're welcome. Because of course, when he sold it, he didn't mention the ass crash. It's yes. I feel like Seinfeld. So that bass. And then my dad is like super moved, and he's about to, say goodbye. And then the guy's like, by the way, can I ask you a question? I know this sounds weird, but you have some like warranty on the windshield. Did you guys change it or something? And my dad was like, why? He's like, I know this is gonna sound very weird, and it's random, but this is the only way I can explain it. So I know it's weird, sir. I know this doesn't make sense, but apparently, like the glue is melting or something. But I could swear that I could see hairs all around the frame. And my dad was like, have a good life. So, your donkey story might be the beginning of a great story for someone else. And that's my conclusion. Thank you, guys. My name is Milton Granadillo.